Hello, my name is Crystal Amundsen, and I recently finished an online blogging internship with the Found Project. It was focused on spreading the word for mental health. It was focused on trauma, general mental health topics, and also originally it was on suicide prevention. Um, so my boss had me focusing on quick tips and how-tos. Um, so how did I arrange the internship and find it? Well, it started with me keeping my eyes and ears open in online classroom chatter. So the that included the BYU Idaho Facebook group. I asked around on there. Um, I also just really paid attention to people in different class discussions, especially the introduction ones, when people said they were in their last semester, or that they were in an internship. And if I would reach out to them and ask, I'd send them an email and say, hey, can you tell me more about the internship? I've got one coming up. I need to find one. And just kind of gather information from them. So I asked questions when others mentioned it, of their upcoming internships. Essentially, it came down to a new friend from one of my online classes suggesting this internship position. It was one that she was doing. Well, it was upcoming. And so she gave me the contact information and she referred me to the supervisor. She told the supervisor about me, about my interest, and I think also that helps when it was time for the interview. Um, I wrote a professional email to the supervisor expressing my interest. We set up an interview and I practiced interviewing with my husband. Then right after the interview, I received the position for the internship. The internship responsibilities I had consisted of a lot of different things. It was kind of a wide range of skills. So my responsibilities included staying in contact with my supervisor. Her name's Tanisha. I was responsible for researching mental health and trauma topics, and it started out anywhere from marriage and family topics, marriage, parenting, um, mental health and children. It really covered a lot in the beginning, and later on she narrowed it down. So I would be writing blogs on those topics. There was a weekly blog. I personally posted every Friday. Tanisha seems to have some uh, like mobility in how the intern schedules their time. So I also created Instagram captions. So if you're not familiar with Instagram, this probably might not be the best internship for you, because you need to be familiar with Instagram, specifically the business side of Instagram. Also designing Instagram posts, which is kind of fun to do. It's a lot more creative in designing those. So important things to know for this internship. Knowing how to use Canva is pretty key for designing posts, for scheduling posts. And these are things that Tanisha can walk you through. She sends you training videos on. She does train you for it. So if you're not entirely sure what it is and what you're getting into with it, I would suggest, getting online and looking and seeing what Canva is, if this is an internship that you feel would benefit you. Um, Also using Wix. So Wix is an online like website um, generator, I guess. And it has a place for writing blogs. So this is what she used to create her website. And she gave me her login information so I could log in and actually no, I use my own login information. Anyway, I could log in onto her website account with Wix and write blogs. I also designed the blog format and also would schedule when the blog would post on her website, all through the Wix website. So also, it's important to understand how to use Instagram, which is kind of something I already mentioned. Instagram Insights shows the time and days for best posting, and also knowing how to find relevant hashtags to help get the spread of the word in an effective way. So creating an Instagram caption, I created this just this little guideline for myself because it was very specific of what an effective, captivating caption would look like. I sent this to Tanisha so she could pass it on to future internships, but this is like a basic format to follow. And this is just a quick little like caption example of one that I wrote. You can see how it has a question, it has spaces in between. The second line is a call to action. Then you have your content of information, and at the bottom you have, please like, share, and comment. Little information that she specifically wants in every caption, which is like check out the self-help tools and check out the link in the bio to find a therapist, and then all the hashtags go at the bottom. You don't want more than 20. So that's just a real quick summary of what captions are. How did I benefit this site? So through well-written captions, keeping on brand with designs and writing blogs with captivating, informative, helpful topics. So I was in charge of, at first, coming up with topics. Later on, Tanisha did reshift her focus of her business, which refocused what I was doing as her intern. So instead of coming up with the topics on my own, she started assigning me topics and having me research those more specific ones because she wanted to focus more on trauma. Keeping on brand, that's kind of what she wanted me to do with just specific colors and pictures that I would use on posts and in the blog design. But also, once she did make that shift to focus more on trauma, staying on brand with trauma-informed information. So I also helped to increase the awareness of mental health with mental health matters and specifically trauma, like I've been mentioning. I helped increase the views and the reach of the site with posting every week and with hashtags. I helped spread the word, which fulfills the mission of the Found Project. How I benefited personally from this was that I learned a lot about social media posting from a business perspective and how to use it to increase influence. I also learned about new topics that were more specific than what I learned in school, like subcategories of trauma, like trauma-induced yoga, trauma and anxiety, trauma and depression. Those are just a few. Trauma and the endocrine system. I also learned ways to balance work and home life. Since this is an online internship, that is one thing that I was able to learn to balance because the time is pretty open of when I could do this work. It wasn't a 9-to-5 type of position. So I also learned what my priorities at heart are and was able to focus putting my priorities in place. So the connections between the coursework and this internship, there was a lot in the beginning that was marriage and family related, since I was in the beginning choosing my own topics. So I had topics that related with family relations, family history, resource management, marriage, specifically with John Gottman's book because it's just such an excellent source. A little bit with depression, advocating the family on social media was both in coursework and with the internship. And then just a little bit with Bronfenbrenner, sorry, I can't pronounce that, the ecological systems theory that he has. Just with my reach into the world is kind of something that I recognized in that. A lot of the connection with this internship comes from the stress and coping coursework. That specific course is, I just saw so many similarities and connections. So I repeatedly saw how the stress levels rise and fall patterns, thresholds of recovery after trauma, trauma avoidance has a negative cycle, and especially with resilience. So all of these things I kept seeing over and over and over in the research that I was doing for trauma, and also just what I would remember from this stress and coping class. The internship recommendation I have. So this is great for social media skills. There's a large learning curve if you're not familiar with the business side of social media. Even though she does train you, you need to be adaptable to frequent changes from the supervisor, from Tanisha. And maybe that was just this semester because she was changing her focus and shifting things. But that is something to keep in mind. She did change a lot of things. Again, I've mentioned already that she changed her focus, and so my experience this semester may be different from your experience in the future for future interns. She mentioned having separate interns for media and research in future semesters because she has noticed that the learning curve for the social media side is a large, it's a large learning curve, especially coming from a marriage and family therapy marriage and family studies background. The social media skills was a lot to learn, and so she kind of is thinking about separating those two so that those who have either marriage and family studies background of coursework, she loves to hire us and to have us research and write for that content. So it's great for research and writing. You spend time searching, spend time studying and researching articles and different web content for the related weekly topic. And writing skills are required. Specifically, it's important to know how to write in the inverted pyramid style. This was another learning curve for me. I had never heard of this before, and I had to practice a lot before I got it right. Tanisha does review all work that you do before it gets posted, which is helpful. She also liked to have the focus on quick tips and how-tos, as that is what typically people on social media are looking for. It's kind of a clickbait type of topic. So here's her contact information. Her name's Tanisha Shedden. That's her email address at myfoundlife2020@gmail.com. This is her website at www.foundproject.org. The @foundproject1 is her Instagram account, and then lastly you have her Facebook account. So go ahead and use the Gmail to contact her. That's the way I contacted her, and that wraps it up for my presentation. So thank you.